Welcome to another episode of a Town Hall Different podcast.
Welcome.
It's crazy that we're almost 1 year in and some people are still baffled at the name of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, now
Forget about it.
Now you know it's a Town Hall Different podcast.
Period.
The best podcast.
In the whole world.
The one shaking everywhere.
In the whole world.
Shaking everywhere. Shaking everywhere.
Hi, my name is Sarah.
And my name is Sarachi.
We have a very, very, very special guest with us today. He's been, I don't know if you could hear his voice hailing us, saying, come on.
A fine boy.
What did you say?
I'm posing like a guest pastor.
That is so true. That's exactly how they look. That is so true. So you do the honors. You do the introduction.
Oh, good.
No pressure. Just say my name.
Okay, so our guest today is Ahmed. Ahmed, I think it would be right for you to introduce yourself. Yeah.
I wanted you to do all the hyping.
Hi, my name is Ahmed.
Mm-hmm.
I identify as a creative person.
Okay.
I'm also a PR consultant.
Okay.
My PR work doesn't involve the entertainment industry.
Right.
Okay.
However, my career as a creative person is mostly within the
Entertainment
space. And pop culture, so yeah, everything that involves.
Okay, so sum it up. He's not a small man.
Period.
He's a big man.
But why does your PR work? Why is it not only entertainment?
Why does it not involve entertainment specifically?
Yes.
So if you think about, do I want to do music PR, like PR for musicians, or like maybe PR for films, right? My background is in technology. That's my first ever job. I was
tech bro.
Well, second actually, but the first proper job. First job was on radio.
Oh, why did you leave radio?
I wasn't working on radio. I was just like a digital marketing person at Kiss FM.
Oh,
which of the Kiss FM? The one in Lagos here? Okay.
I got a digital marketing job in a tech startup. So that's where I started out.
Yeah.
Eventually I figured out that like this is cool, but
this isn't what you want.
It's not motivating me to in that way.
So even the money wasn't motivating.
Discuss that off camera.
Love that.
So yeah, my background was in tech, and so I have like a corporate background before moving into entertainment. And gladly, we're in a point where now the entertainment industry is corporate in a way that it didn't used to be.
Yeah, actually.
So yeah, I just thought when I started doing PR as a mistake. It started because people just used to say, "Oh, Ahmed, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? We need to put our press releases on. We need to do some influencer marketing. Can you?" And those were things I could do by virtue of working in a startup where you are head of marketing, digital, influencer, PR, you are
everything,
team, right? And then you continue to grow and learn, and then you get bigger opportunities, and people start to trust you more, and then you're able to just. And then I just thought maybe I should just keep this separate from the entertainment industry in a way. Even though I've done some entertainment work in PR, but as a film festival, I handled PR for, so maybe that's some entertainment work, but I don't want to go into detail on that. But sometimes the entertainment industry doesn't understand structure.
And right? I think that's the problem we have in Nigeria here.
But I think right now we've gotten to the place where there is some sort of structure.
But there's still a lot of work.
There's a lot of work to do. But I thought that with the PR business, I didn't want to be struggling with like creating boundaries. People don't know that work has closed. Clients who don't know that work has closed, or like this time you are stressing me out is not your time. Like I'm a consultant. You don't have me 24/7.
Yeah.
Some boundaries that are easier to explain to people with corporate backgrounds are easier, and it's harder to explain to people who work in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to always do that. And I just thought maybe we can divide the sides of me. But eventually I will probably do it.
Eventually.
There's a long-term plan to do music PR, but there's no immediate need for it. I don't think that the music PR at the moment, I don't think it needs me. And I'm very realistic.
If
something I would disagree.
If I don't feel like something needs me or I have a unique perspective to offer, I'm not going to rush into it because people are making money.
But you always have a unique perspective on issues. I've seen a lot of your takes.
on issues.
Music,
not
no,
necessarily.
on music
Yeah, let's
related
get into the podcast.
conversation.
Let's get
Well,
into
the podcast has started.
Yeah.
It started since the moment we
You
turned on
always
the
have
microphone.
yeah.
The podcast has started.
So
Yeah, but that's just how I feel about it. I don't think it's time for me to do music PR yet. When my spirit tells me it's time, I'll know.
Wow, interesting. When he was speaking, do you know what I remember? There's this meme that I've been seeing lots of music guys that I'm following post. They said, I went into the creative space because I was trying to avoid a 9 to 5, and now I'm doing it 24/7. So have you seen it? So while he was speaking, and I was like, okay, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
yeah,
I mean,
that.
music guys, they don't sleep. Like, they
I
actually
started
Girl, you
working
walk
in
around the
music
clock.
because I was just frustrated. I wasn't happy. And I thought, what's the only thing that could make me happy to come into work every day?
music.
And I knew it was music. So I called my friend who was a musician and asked him,
Which friend is that?
His name is Jimmy Abdul. Shout out Jimmy Abdul's. God bless you, bro.
I know him.
That's my brother since
Jimmy Abdul.
first year of uni in Babcock.
Wow.
I had known of him before then, but that's when we became friends. Solid guy. So I called him and I said, yo, Jimmy, are there any music companies, but are there also tech companies where I could go and get a digital marketing job because I really want to work in music? And then he listed a few names for me. So I started looking them up, started applying. And then the weirdest thing happened. My closest friend, sold his Beat headsets. I was trying to buy some Beat headsets. Anyway, he met the chief technology officer at a music company on like GG or OLX.
Whoa.
So
Random.
so when I told him, oh bro, I spoke to Jimmy. Jimmy said, these are companies, so I'm trying to leave. So these are companies I'm looking at. He said, my beats that I bought it from this guy. He works at some technology company. Check him out. Is this not the company you're talking about? I said, yeah, that's the guy. And so I got to know the CTO of UdoX at the time.
Oh.
And then I sent an application. I did a whole proposal. I told them where I thought they were doing wrong. I said, nice one, but we are not hiring now.
Good.
And so it was all right. It was just like nice idea, cool. Like you seem like a smart guy.
But it's not the
we're
time.
not hiring now. Sorry. I said, okay, cool.
So how did you eventually get in?
I took another job shortly after. In fact, one time I called the guy and I said, look, I'm taking another job, so y'all better make up your mind. I said, look, you can't rush us.
Whoa.
Not in that way. I'm simplifying it. It wasn't like that. But I'm like, I have another option. I'd like to work with you guys. But if the offer isn't coming, I have to take the other option, right? And he said, do you know what? I understand.
Just go for this.
We're still figuring our things out internally. So I went to work at a company where I was doing B2B, still digital marketing, but lead generation. So I was just like doing like LinkedIn ads and Google ads.
That would be so
very corporate.
That would be so frustrating.
Very corporate. I joined them in December. I got my January bonus.
And you left in February.
Did dinner with them. They really thought they had found a young guy who was really going to, because we're doing some really innovative things around lead generation, developing animations to capture corporate leads. I was adding my own creativity to the way their boring their conventional corporate process was.
You can call it boring.
It's boring.
It's not boring, but like beside music, you can see how it can be seen
It's
as
boring.
No, but shout out to them because I learned a lot from them. And then I get a call in like January. UdoX, I know you told me that you took another job, but I think we have an opening now. And I said, do you know what? Forget that opening, bro. If you guys have an offer, send it. I'll be like you tomorrow.
Whoa, just like that.
No, but I give them like a month's notice. So I left January, February. I gave them like a month's notice after collecting 13th month salary.
I mean, you earned it now.
Yeah, it is what it is. I worked there for 2 months, shortest job ever. And then I started working at UdoX, and that just changed my life, really.
I like when people passionate about music get to work in music.
I
it's always
see.
like a
Ahmed
different-
is one person that I know that is very passionate about it. Forget that he says, that the time is not right. The time has been right since forever, since I met.
I used to be a musician.
Oh, you used to be?
There's no evidence. I can only tell you. Only people who know me in like secondary school would know
What?
that I used to
Oh,
write
as
raps.
far back as secondary school?
I used to write raps. I used to write choruses. Yeah.
Why didn't you pursue it?
I didn't have money for studio time. I'll be real.
That's so real.
I didn't have money for studio time. My mom loved me very much, but like, she didn't love me enough to give me money to go to the studio to record.
I mean, that's like
to convince. That was a very weird.
Yeah.
It was too far to convince her. I can say, Mommy, I need money for new shoes. Those things she understood. But like, give me money to go to the studio and record music as a music. There was no way to make it make sense to her.
In Nigerian move.
Right?
Maybe you didn't want it enough. If you wanted it enough,
my
you'd have
pops is
found
the
a way.
last person I would tell. No, I did. Like I used to live in Surulere, so I walked around the whole Surulere looking for
And
studios.
there were lots of studios in Surulere.
Asking how far. I knew guys who went to studio, right? I was also a sheltered kid in a way, so like there's certain guys I could not follow to the studio because they were quote unquote bad boys. Right? And it's a thing like people see at the time used to see the studio as the thing that the bad boys would go and do.
Because they would go there and they would drink, they'll smoke.
That's the assumption.
Exactly.
Right? I remember someone said this to me. It's an artist who said it to me that his mom used to tell him, "My band lost his studio. Like, don't follow them to the studio." As if it's like, don't go and don't join cults. Yeah. Right? That's how going to the studio looked at the time. And the kind of family I'm from, there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell it was gonna happen. So I just used to write the raps on my notebooks and perform in school, and used to pray that one day, but.
So, I mean, a lot of people who wanted to do music who didn't get to, they're the ones who are execs now.
Yeah.
So it's
it makes a lot of sense.
But as somebody who loves music and loves Afrobeat, you love Afrobeats, I believe.
Very much.
Yeah. How do you feel about where we are now? Let's get it. Let's start the podcast officially now.
That's a big question.
How do you feel about where we are now?
In a time where a South African artist is winning an award for the best Afrobeat artist.
I mean, the fact that they're nominating us is also something. It's also a big deal, at least. The fact.
I mean,
that
like, I don't think. Sorry to cause.
I
don't think they are doing us a favor by nominating us.
No. It's the question It's the question I asked him that I'm trying to give him perspective to. Of course, we'll get into everything. Relax. So the fact that what's it called? We have artists right now who get one hit song, and a few months later we're seeing them doing a UK tour and a South American tour.
Yeah.
I mean, there's too many. This is just me giving you perspective. So this is where we are now. So how do you feel about where we are now?
It's exciting times. It's exciting times.
Exciting times.
If I was in secondary school now, my mom would give me money to go.
Facts. Because do is day.
Yes.
My mom would give me money to go to the studio. Also, I think a lot of the people who inspired me when I was in secondary school never really saw like the financial side of like the inspiration that they inspired a lot of us, right? People like LOS. That's the group that Tommy Thomas was in before he went solo. That's Bridge, Brice, Young, Killing with the Flow, who's now Zamir. Those guys, like, the things they did really inspired so many people. And if you speak to a lot of people, they'll tell you, if you were there at the time, like the things they did, and they were signed to Storm Records, shooting videos on booths.
That's a big deal.
They were on Sound City. What? You know how insane that was for me? They made me start writing music. So
really?
like, I'm probably not working in music today if LOS didn't make music. That's how serious it is, right? And I don't know if they saw the direct monetary equivalent of what that means, right? In a way that the guys who are inspiring the young cats now, I believe they are seeing the bread.
But I think I think then they were seeing bread as well. Not on this level, but I know that watching interviews now of those artists who were a big deal back then when we were young, they were making money.
No, they're making money.
And they enjoyed making money.
I remember when I saw DRB for the first time. They came
DRB, that's
DRB Las Giddy, that's TZ,
Board,
Fresh Hell. They came to perform at my friend's SS3 prom. At this time, Tony had just come out. You know Tony? I live in Bagada, so that's Tony.
Nope.
It was like their first radio hits, right? How much did they pay them? Because my neighbor went to Fountain Heights. That's the school.
Fountain Heights, Adilabu.
And yeah, they came to perform at their prom. She was social prefect, so she was the one that put the money together. They paid them 150K. Bro, when she told me they paid them 150K, I said I must make music.
Because 150K then
at that time, that's a lot of money.
I must make music. Are you whining me? 150K for these guys?
And considering that that was them even reducing it because they were coming to a secondary
So a
school,
secondary
because that would
school,
not be
I'm
their
like,
real
yeah,
price.
That's really cheap.
I must make music. Now guys are talking 150k USD,
Yeah.
right? Or at least 15k.
We're
if
talking
you're not
money,
that
you
big.
talking nonsense.
But I think it's a really exciting time to be a musician. I think people will do different things for different reasons. So when you talk about like the European tour now, right? I think if you think back to then, a famous Pluto who's going on a European tour now,
Yeah.
there were.
I think Komi is going as well.
Yeah, and also this guy,
Joy's coming.
Fido,
Shout out to him.
and I got the runner.
Yeah, but at the time there was so many avenues to tour Nigeria that those guys may not have gone abroad immediately. Like there were just shows happening all over the country all the time, right? Whether it was brand shows, whether it was regular promoters, there were vehicles for you to make money. If you think about this as a business where, okay, we have a new product, there's demand, we want to make money from it, right? You didn't have to leave Nigeria to make show money. The reality now is that the show economy pre-December is cooked.
Yeah.
Nobody's really doing anything.
And
right?
that's because of where Nigeria is financially now.
Yeah, it's complex. Marketing budgets are shrinking and everybody's trying to, as opposed to musicians, can we do influencers? And, the business is evolving. And that means that everyone's thinking like this show thing, what's the ROI? Maybe we'll just wait till December and then we'll do a December thing. So shows in Nigeria have now become a December thing where averagely they didn't used to always be a December thing. December was always peak, but like you would see shows here and there, right? Now the best you're getting is club appearances, right? That doesn't really help when you think about maybe if the artist has mostly been stream farmed to
Which is what
if
happens
the artist has
most
mostly been
times.
stream farmed to popularity,
Which is what happened.
What happens most times.
and
Okay.
the streaming bread is not that good because
Yeah.
you are paying back end stream farm,
Yeah.
right? So zero cancel zero. You now need to make performance
Zero
bread, right?
cancel, zero.
Need to make performance bread. If there's no shows in Lagos, you need to now go and start talking to promoters. They're probably not even doing big tours. They're probably doing like, what would I call it? Club appearances all over, right? But you make $2K here, 2.5, 3K, 4K. You come back, you do like 5 appearances. Maybe you made like 15K USD. You come back and you balance again, and then okay, we balance the books a bit. We see how we can move forward, right? So if you think about it as a money play, I understand why people are going abroad. Also, you want to go to the place where the streaming dollars
It's
make
higher,
sense,
yeah.
right? Because the streaming dollars here, it is what it is.
I
right?
get you, but I don't know. I still haven't been
I think
convinced enough.
from a business point of view.
I still haven't been convinced enough because why are you going there?
Because that's where
How
their
many
bread
peop-
is.
When you say their bread, how much streams are they actually making there?
No, if you think
If
about
we
it
check the numbers.
as not just performance, but also a promoters, because they're also going to do press, they're going to do appearances.
Yeah, they're going to
So,
do appearances.
Do you see why?
And obviously, it's not cheap.
Even with the appearances that they're going to do, it's not like they're going to promote themselves to guys. When you watch a lot of these shows, it's still us that are there. By us, I mean it's still us who went on holiday. It's still us who just went for 3 years education in one uni. It's still us that are at their shows. It's still us that is there. So when you say you're going there to promote, it's still us that is there.
So you're
in
saying
your
that.
shows.
So you're saying that.
So you don't think there's a difference between you in Lagos and the you that is in London?
I'm saying, and honestly, yes, I am saying instead of investing.
I think
I'm saying
me,
instead of
you,
investing,
the
chill.
me in
Instead of-
London is going to be different.
No, you don't get.
You don't think that you in London
We
have
mean-
a bit more
we mean-
financial and economic capacity
Yeah.
than you
Guys,
in Lagos?
all I am saying is just, can we calm down and get off the high of whatever we are seeing ourselves to be and actually build what we have
Because
here?
you think we're not there.
You're not there yet. Build what we have here. Build yourself
Because
here
to be fair-
enough.
to be fair.
So that when you go there, it makes more. Look at the likes of Wizkid and the likes of Davido.
Yeah, they
and
didn't start.
They didn't start
shows
immediately.
Yeah, actually,
So
I get what you're saying.
by the time they are there, it makes more sense. Even when they are there, they are with like more established artists, maybe opening for them. Maybe it makes more sense.
But people would argue that times have changed, which really times have changed. So like the way people consume music now is different from how he used to be before. before you had to buy the CDs and enjoy the song. So when the artist announces that they have a show, you are really excited. Now, if I'm listening to a song on my Apple Music and I hear that the artist is coming, I know that I have the money, I will go and watch them. So like, I will pull up.
Girl, see, I hear you, but
So
all I'm saying is, and I'm going to try and use places like the Latin America and the Asia, whatever. They build first. You grow first.
Yeah,
see, we're mentioning names that don't have a solid
they
fan
build first
base
because,
yet.
first of all, I think that their market is solid there and they're like proper structure compared to us here.
I'm even talking about, that's exactly the point. So can we like relax? We talked about Lona last week.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We talked about Odumodu Black last week.
Luna is such an outlier. What Luna is doing is so impossible to do that you have to be crazy to do it.
So can we get crazy to
it's
build?
not impossible
Do you know
again
that
because
it is
Lona has done
it's
it.
easier to plan the London thing that guys are doing than to plan this Nigeria trek that Lona is doing.
So you don't have to go as far as how Lona went.
As far as Zara.
You can do 4, you can do 5. How many projects do you even have?
Yeah.
How many body of works do you even have? The average music listener in Nigeria, how obsessed are they about you? Like, is it a big deal that you're coming?
Yeah.
Is it a thing now that, okay, you're now in this place and now, like I said, it's still us that's pulling up. So it's still your promoter and quotes calling their friend and saying, oh, I'm bringing so person, bring out your friends.
Of course.
And in my head, it's like, if you're not
So why
there,
are
you're
the
not
core
there.
fans?
Why? Do you understand? We move on quickly.
Afrobeats to the world.
Afrobeats to the world, but someone else is winning best Afrobeats.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Especially because the last time she won an award,
she
she
stated,
categorically stated it.
I am not an Afrobeat artist.
Why did you have to do that accent? But my girl stated it, and they still keep giving her these awards.
What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, she has a huge brand in the US. So if you think of like in terms of even popularity in mainstream America, not like your friends are abroad.
We're talking mainstream America, yes.
Mainstream America.
Tyler is the
Radio
most
America,
popular.
Tyler's the most popular artist.
But
So you that's a Nigerian might feel a certain way about it. But an American who's watching the AMAs, sees Tyler comes up to win, doesn't feel a way
so
about
here's
it.
why I think that is not fair
Exactly.
and it's not right. Because Tyler presents herself as a pop star. Tyler is making pop music. The only reason Tyler is being mentioned in Afrobeats is because she's African.
That's the only reason. And
There's
it pisses
nothing
me
about
off.
Tyler and her branding
So
that says
and her packaging
I'm Afrobeat.
and her anything.
Her
That
accent
says,
is Africa.
and then let's bring it now to Africa. Even with Afrobeats is West African. Tyler is South African. The kind of music that they make, they have zero affiliations to Afrobeats.
But Water is,
Water is an Afrobeat song, but the year in review,
is kind of crazy.
it don't pass.
Push to
All
Start
the
as
while,
well.
all the while when Water was
Push
all
to
over
Start is
the
not an
place.
Afrobeat song.
Push to Start is not an Afrobeat
depends.
song.
It's
Let me
not
tell
an
you.
Afrobeat. That's a pop song.
That's a pop
you
song,
can't
true
even
and true.
because that's the reason.
That's the thing.
It's not.
That's a pop song.
me
true
tell
and
you
Because if it was an Afrobeat song, she probably have like an
Remember
Afrobeat
when
for-
Water
for-
was a big
for
deal?
the
We said
remix.
it here.
Let me tell you something.
Tell us. Let me tell you something.
On
Let
that
me tell you
same on that
something.
same beat, if somebody spoke Yoruba, it's an Afrobeat record.
But I'm sorry,
she's
we
not
did, but
speaking
but she
Yoruba.
didn't.
My
And then
point-
she did a remix
I'm saying
with
that-
Sean Paul,
Yeah,
I'm
who is not
saying
an
that-
Afrobeat artist.
I'm saying that to say that the problem with Afrobeats is that too many things can be thrown into it. So too many things will be thrown into it.
But in this case, it wasn't.
No, hear me out. Afrobeats is so vague in terms of the sound, right? That it's possible to throw so much inside Afrobeats. And because they are definitely not going to create a second category for African people, they're just going to throw the
So why don't you
Africans
just call it
inside
African
Afrobeats.
music, best African music? Why are you saying
You know what
best
is sad?
Afrobeat?
You know what
Favorite
is sad?
Afrobeat.
You know wait,
Because-
Joe,
That's the way the AMAs want
I'm
to
sorry,
do
you
it.
this
guys,
is-
wait. Why this is sad is because all this while there had been African music in quotes.
Yeah.
And then when it's time to give the awards, they give it to all these indigenous Africans. By that, the South Africans have been so great at it by
Yeah.
singing their indigenous African.
Are we talking about the Grammys here?
We're talking about
All of them.
generally.
All of them.
African music.
No,
They
but
used to call us.
MTV, BETs.
It's Africa. It's they should call it best international,
International,
whatever. So the
yeah.
point is that we, as the Nigerian music industry, that we started gaining popularity with our own kind of pop music, which we called Afrobeats. We fought for Afrobeats to be recognized.
Exactly.
There.
So I don't see
we
any.
went through years and years of trying to push Afrobeats as a thing, starting with the UK and all that. So it's like we've finally gotten what we worked
And somebody
so hard
else is
for,
reaping from
and
the hard
you're
work.
dashing it on a platter.
It
to
doesn't
another
make.
person.
I think it's very unfair
to
to
another person
Afrobeat
who is not even branding herself like one of us.
Yeah,
and she
you
stated
don't
it
think-
categorically on the last award that she won that she's not.
I'm not an Afrobeat artist.
So why do they still keep doing it? It's basically them saying they don't give a shit what we think. They don't give a shit how we feel, and this is exactly why we look so stupid. That instead of us to understand that these people don't really give a flipping fuck about us, then you never even build yourself finish. You are going to throw yourself there.
Like,
nothing is happening in Nigeria. Nobody cares about you out there. Who is winning in the end?
It doesn't make any sense.
Do you get it now?
There's no reason why Tyler has been nominated for Best Afro. Like not in this year, not in the year to come.
I started my answer by saying when I checked their websites, I looked at all the categories, and when I got to the bottom,
that's where we are.
I saw favorite Afrobeats artists, and so for me, that just gives me context to how much attention and thought is given into curating this thing. It is not their culture. So they will only. It's a lobbying thing. Think about it like elections are coming, right? Not everybody can get the ticket. Only the most influential people will get the ticket.
Right.
And then the most influential person will now win the election, right? So it's lobbying. The major labels will lobby for their major artists who fall within that category. So you think when Sony is lobbying for Tyler, they probably lobby for Best R&B. But you know how many labels within Sony cater to R&B artists that have bigger... Stems. And they know that if you haven't had a big R&B record, right, you're not identifying with the R&B community, and they put you in R&B, people will be pissed off.
So
Tyler, wait. And they're more afraid of pissing off Americans than they are of pissing off Nigerians.
Because
they have a very singular view of Nigeria. They don't understand how diverse the sound is and what the real context is, right? You and me know. But they only see top level. And they're only going to see top level for a while, right? So I understand your point. It's annoying when an artist comes out to say I'm not an Afrobeat artist, and then they win an Afrobeat award. But you have to think of the back end in the sense that the teams are hustling for these nominations.
You know what is sad now?
The teams are hustling for these nominations, and the slots that they'll probably have for you is the African slots, the Afrobeat slots.
So why don't you just let me tell you, why don't you just change it to Afrobeat? I'm sorry, why don't you just change or even change the category to Best African artist?
Yeah. If you're clearly not ready for Afrobeat. Do you know what I can see already? I can see the next award. I can already see the drama that's coming from next award season. You see what Molly's doing with Shake It to the Max? She's going to pick up all the awards for Afrobeats. That's not to say that Shake It to the Max, we know for sure that's not an Afrobeat song.
It's not an Afrobeat song.
But we cannot really talk too much because she's Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see now Moki they work babu they chop.
Yeah.
Now to our own Nigerian artists. Because you will not leave Nigeria and still be going there where they clearly don't care about you.
That's where the bread is. You need to understand that where money is will attract the talent.
I'm not talking about the big ones now. Guy, I don't have a problem with... I don't have a problem with Rema and Ashake and Burna Boy and the rest doing what they are doing. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm talking about you, that your one hit song is still shaky. You have a hit song and we don't even know what your face looks like. You've not done anything here.
No branding.
Do you understand? You have a hit song and even when you say hello, nobody knows who you are. It's until you sing your song where they say, oh, now you never stand. You're already there doing tour where nobody send you. Do you get what I'm trying to say now?
I hear you.
Maybe you guys will have to come and explain to me because everything that they have all said, I still don't get it.
I think another interesting way to do it is if you won't tour units in Nigeria, I think you can reach out to students' bodies in the US, in Canada, in the UK, and go and tour universities abroad, right? And build that audience. Because then Wiz and Davido did it. I'm sure Burna did it, right? I've forgotten what it's called. African community something, but there's a way to do that from like the grassroots, right? Invest in those kinds of partnerships where you say, okay, this guy is doing this and we want to tour some units in this region to build the audience. Because I haven't seen people do that in a while. But, you know, the problem with Afrobeats is the commentary now. Where, like, when them Wiz were coming up, the commentary wasn't so in your face. Now, an artist goes and does a small venue because that's what he is. Rival fans are saying, see what this one is doing. He's doing small, he's performing in Palo, he's telling us that he's going to UK. Right, so that's the thing of like everybody wanting to do a bigger venue.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they do big venues and it doesn't sell out.
That's where we are. That's where we are.
Everything are packaging.
That's where we are. That's where we are.
What do you think about Burna Boy's new song?
Ta ta ta.
Is that the last question?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that the last? Let's talk about. Okay.
Squeeze the question in.
What did you say?
No, it says if you have one more question, squeeze it in. I'll be quick. When I first heard the snippet, I was very worried. I love Burna. I think he's the most talented African artist I've witnessed in my time on this earth. Day
No
one
comment.
Burna fan since like Wickedest Love, a record that most people don't know, but like since Wickedest Love. I was worried when I heard the snippets because I'm like, my guy, come on now, we're better than this. But I hear it, and now I'm going to like switch to exec mode and not fan mode.
Okay.
Right? I'm not going to speak as a fan, I'll speak as an exec. I see the strategic play in terms of like Brazilian funk, right? I
good.
see what they're trying to do.
Here we go again.
I see where they're trying to go.
Okay, so I think you need to go back from that music exec to fan.
To fan.
I
Okay,
want you
hold
to
on.
tell me your
I'll tell
feedback
you,
based
I'll tell you
on
as a fan. I'll tell you as a fan. I'll tell you as
Yeah.
a fan. But I see what they're trying to do, like the Brazilian funk. It's not for Nigeria. If it blows up in Brazil, if it blows up anywhere, you know, we have another region we can possibly tour when the
It's
album
not for
comes
Nigeria.
out.
Okay.
It's really not. I can't,
You know the funny
I
part?
don't think they put that record. He recorded that song thinking. I
For
don't know.
Nigeria, that's
It's
what's
gonna-
singing in
it's
Pidgin.
gonna
But you
blow
know the
up.
funniest
What
part?
do you mean by it was not for Nigeria?
You know the funniest part? These people, their biggest songs are the actual Nigerian songs.
Yes. What do you mean by it's not for
so
Nigerians?
where does
this
He
even
was
come
actually
from?
singing in Pidgin and
different
English.
strategic plays that people do with their albums these days. It's just what it is. It's just what it is, right? He has the Lambo song that he knows that when he drops, he knows that when that record drops.
But I hope we've not moved on by then.
Don't worry. He knows that when the record drops, it's gonna be a hit, right? Everybody knows the lyrics without.
Is
it
it going
coming
to
out
be
officially.
hits?
It's gonna be a hit.
I mean,
I
he
hope
has
we've not moved
had
on by
4
then.
songs
I get what you mean.
off his album.
The singles haven't exactly hit
Jig, yeah.
mainstream, you know, standards. I get what you mean.
Even after jumping on a successful song and doing the fake remix.
And turning off the lights on that song.
Yeah.
People are so interesting. It's not, it's
You-
not his fault.
so you think he didn't
Burna
turn off
had
the lights on
Drake
that
thing.
song?
Burna had the Drake thing. Like he's still is the Drake at the moment. It's
So
like
you think-
if you need the record is there. Like Jerusalema, Yaba Buluku, it's endless, bro. Sungba, the remixes are there, bro.
Yeah, but that's
The remixes are
but
there.
those are
It's like
past
if
glory.
you're trying to get out of your country, right? You call Burna. That's the guy.
Ahmed.
He's the guy who go and perform your song.
You are
at-
sounding like an
at the
outsider
Paris
right
Stadium.
now.
He's the guy who go and
What
perform your
exactly
song
did Burna Boy do for
in the London
Jerusalem?
Stadium.
What exactly did Burna Boy do for
Because that song was
Jerusalem?
already
It was
a hit too. Yeah, it was
What
already
are
a
we
hit.
saying?
It's
But I
like
mean,
exactly-
yeah,
it's like 3 years
I
ago now, so
enjoyed.
everybody
I
has
actually
forgotten.
enjoyed
What-
the Burna Boy effect.
It's like
but
3
yeah,
years
it was
ago
still
now,
a-
so
it was
everybody has
already a hit.
forgotten.
What
I don't
exactly
wanna
did
argue
Burna
that
Boy
with
do
you.
for Sungba? The only one I can pick and say
I know
that he did
Sungba,
something
Sungba,
for
he did something.
was Killing Them. And that one was because they came out together.
Oh,
Like,
Like killing them.
If
But for
that's- if
Sungba,
that's how you
Sungba was
feel, no
already
problem.
big. Jerusalem already big.
No, Jerusalem was big, but Sungba remix and what's the one killing them?
Yaba
No.
Buluku.
What exactly did you do for Yaba Buluku?
Yeah, Yaba
What are we
Buluku, yeah.
saying, guys? This
But-
songs were
but-
already big.
But
The
Lahore,
For Campe song with the Haitian artists. Look, Burna's record on remixes have been flawless. It's just the reality.
but
You're
not for
sounding
but
like a
not for
fan.
Lahore.
I'm a
He sounded-
fan.
He sounded like an outsider.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
fan.
that's
But
okay.
the like again, I'll tell you from my perspective, I'm being objective, right?
Are you?
He hasn't missed. Right? And this is the one where it is questionable.
Do you
It's the
guys
first
agree
time-
that he has not missed?
it is the first time it is questionable now.
Do you think
and
he's
I
burned
think
out?
it is not because
Do you think he's burned out?
I think it's a counterculture thing. I
How?
think people are now rebelling against the obvious thing.
Which is
It's like, hey, you know, there was a time people were obsessed with Davido. Like, of course, your song is popping. Is the Davido remix we'll get next? I think people started getting obsessed around Osinachi, and there was another song. There was a song he did with Ajebota Hustlers. He did the remix with them.
Ajebo
I started
Hustlers.
seeing conversation around that. Like, yeah, we're done with this. Like, we understand the song is big. The next person you call is Davido. this was like post-pandemic 2020, 2021, right? I saw the conversation happening on Twitter. Everybody starts dragging you because it becomes played out. I think what you're seeing now is that everybody's like, this is too obvious now. So it doesn't give me the excitement I would normally have, because I feel like this is too curated, this is too rehearsed. And the audience has become too smart now that they can see things that are rehearsed. They can see when you're making business.
Do you think that's a good thing, actually?
Music.
The audience being able to see what the people behind the scenes
It makes
doing.
the business so difficult. It makes the strategy behind it so difficult, because you have things just have to be super organic, right? And sometimes you curate things, and then when people can see you're curating it, they start fighting against it. It's just the reality, right? So like the whole show business isn't too much of show business again, because everybody's feels too close to it
Like,
now.
can see what you're doing.
You're probably one or two people away from knowing the artist in real life.
Yeah.
Where before, how I want to know Wizkid, right?
Yeah.
How do you know? Maybe Wizkid is even a bit younger. Who did I know that knew the band? Nobody. Who did I know that knew Two Face? Nobody. Nobody in my family. Nobody in my cousin's family. Nobody of my friends' cousins. Nobody knew them.
Relax.
Right? Like, I'm trying to even think that was there anybody I could call if I. But now, maybe let me not speak as me now, but I ask regular people, if you really want to reach an artist, don't you think you can make 2 calls and somebody will know somebody?
I mean, one call.
Maybe we're speaking based off of where we are, because I feel like there's some people who still
Also,
have
we're in
no
Lagos.
access.
You know, we're in Lagos. We're
Some
doing the
people in
Lagos. We are
Lagos-
doing, we are doing the Lagos thing where we assume that Nigeria is Lagos.
Exactly.
So
I was
everybody
going
can
to
reach
say that, yes. There are
celebrities.
people in
We're
Lagos
doing
who
the
still
Lagos
don't
thing.
know artists. I
Bad
asked you a
vibes.
question. Do you think he's burned out?
I don't know. I think we can always tell artists to say take time off and come back when, but it's difficult, bro. There's so much going on. Like, there's so much money involved. It's very difficult to take a break sometimes, because they've told you about the bag for the next tour, and you know you need to make an album for that bag for the next tour.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. I think it's not even easy to take that break. And he's 33, 34.
Yeah.
You start at this point thinking, how much longer do I have to do this?
So he's aging.
Everybody's aging. You start, like, your mortality will
So he'll soon become a legend.
I think he's a legend.
Or you think
No,
he's a legend?
she's saying legend. You know how they say when they start calling you a legend, it means you're phasing out.
Your
That's
time
what
don't
she,
go.
that's what
Someone
she means.
said that. I heard someone say that recently, that they don't want, I think it was Timaya, he doesn't like when they call him Ochi or legend. Once you enter legend, means say your money don't they reduce.
Exactly. We have to go now because of our time. Our
Yeah.
producer is going to kill us. Please keep watching the episode. Thank you for what you did for us on our last episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
you
we see the
guys.
love.
Oh God, we see the
We
love.
see the love. Thank you very much. Last episode did very well, especially on TikTok. So thank you so
Yeah.
much. And please keep watching, keep supporting, so that I'll be able to buy more studio time. So that we'll be
Exactly.
cutting our guests. Look, the conversation is getting very interesting, and we could
Interesting.
go on and on and on, but because of time, we can't. So
please-
please subscribe, okay? Thank
Yeah,
you.
don't forget
Watch
to
out for
subscribe to our
part 2.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, would you come again?
Got you.
Yay! All right, so follow us on everywhere on social media. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at the Town Hall
A
Different
Town Hall
Pod.
Different podcast, and
Catch us on Pop Central as well.
yeah,
Channel 1 at night on DSTV.
every
Friday,
Friday,
7:30
7:30 p.m. All right, from
From
us
us.
to you.
Bye.
Bye.